it's another reading vlog. It has been far too long since I filmed a reading vlog, so we are back and we are better than ever. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to another reading vlog. This one's gonna be so much fun because I'm not gonna finish this vlog until I find a 5-star read. I don't really give out 5 stars very easily. I feel like it's very hard for me to like a book. There are very specific things that I like in a book and very specific things that make a book 5 stars for me. I have a little shelf back there of all of like my top tier 5-star reads, and there's actually not very many compared to how many books I've read in my entire life. That's not really a lot. This video might be ages long and I apologize in advance for that, but I also can't wait to film this video. So let's go ahead, let's get this video started. You guys know how I feel about long chapters. I'm finding out now I'm relating to Madeline way more. Oh my god, what's going on with me? Oh my god, all of the quotes from this book really tug on your heartstrings. Having his POV really is a game changer. Every single time without fail, I relate to the male main characters, which really like just makes you sit and think about what kind of person I am. The more and more that gets discovered, I feel like, oh, like my theory just keeps changing. Oh my god! Why do I feel so bad for her? Oh my god, you liar! She's a liar! No, I'm kind of doing this video on a limb. I don't have a book picked out yet. I thought we could pick out a book together to start this vlog off. So let's go ahead and head over to my bookshelf and pick our first book for today's video. I'm gonna pick a few, probably ones that I just recently got, and we're gonna figure out what we want. I think I want something like deeper, probably with like romance subplot as per usual. I don't think I want a fantasy or a thriller right now. I'm not feeling those vibes. I want it to be like deep, but I also want it to be like a little bit happy at the same time because I can't really do depression right now. I can't do that. We could do a Sarah Adams book, Practice Makes Perfect by Sarah Adams. We could do this one because this is a new release. I have a signed by the author edition. Are you kidding me? Oh my gosh! I did not know I had a signed by the author edition. Okay, this is definitely a contender. Ooh, The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. Everyone loves this book, so I feel like I'm gonna love this book just the same. This one is also a contender. I think I want to pick one more book, but it's over on this book stack, so follow me. The other contender we have, Kristen Hanna. This is Home Again by Kristen Hanna. I haven't really heard many people talk about this specific Kristen Hanna book, but we know Kristen Hanna, we love Kristen Hanna, so these are all of our options for right now. As much as I want to go with The Midnight Library, I think I have to pick Home Again by Kristen Hanna because I just got this book. I literally bought it today, so I think I need to read this. These will be read eventually, maybe not in today's video, maybe not. I don't know. I don't know what the future holds, okay? For today, I want to read Home Again by Kristen Hanna. I love Kristen Hanna's writing genuinely so much. I just feel like the way that she writes is so lyrical. It has you hooked immediately. And I feel like her writing is just so upsetting and gut-wrenching, but also like it has some happy points. And the biggest thing I love about Kristen Hanna's writing is her quotes. I feel like her quotes are gonna hit every single time, so I'm hoping this book will be no different, and I'm so excited to start this. So let's go ahead and let's start Home Again by Kristen Hanna. Okay everyone, I have some updates already on Home Again by Kristen Hanna. I'm on chapter 4 right now, and that is 50 pages through the book, which I feel like these chapters are longer than I was anticipating. You guys know how I feel about long chapters normally. This one doesn't bother me that much for some reason. The chapters aren't like astronomically long, they're just like, they're a little much sometimes. But what I wanted to say is I just adore Kristen Hanna's writing. Even just being 4 chapters in, I see it and I feel it. And I already feel for our main character. Basically, we have 2 main characters in this book. We have a single mom named Madeline and then her daughter, Lena. Lena is a teenage girl, and I feel like seeing Lena's perspective too is very, very interesting. Basically, this whole book is following these 2 people because this single mom, she's doing everything she can to make sure Lena has a very good life. She's very overworked, she's very tired. She's at odds with life and at odds with her daughter. But Lena's point of view is basically like, if I had my father around, everything would be okay. I'd be able to solve all of my problems. And I feel like that's just such a childlike idea to have. And obviously she grew up without her father. The whole point of this book, I feel like, is gonna be Lena trying to find her father. That's basically the whole situation going on right now. Madeline, the mom, you're already seeing her have these like flashbacks of when she was with Lena's dad. It's like little flashbacks, and you know she went through some trauma, so I'm really nervous to get to that point where we learn what he did to her. I just wanted to say Kristen Hanna's writing really, like, it changes lives, okay? It's that good. So I'm gonna continue reading now. There's a lot of background noise, so I apologize for that, but let's continue reading. I want to get pretty far through this book today, and I think I can do it. I'm already hooked. Guys, I am 120 pages through this book. I want to cry. I genuinely want to cry right now. I can't tell you much because I don't want to spoil anything, but I've been sitting out here for about 2 hours now, which is insane. But it says, she believed in you, Angel. Francis said quietly, we both did. Shame tightened his stomach. Yeah, while life sucks, people let you down. They also change and apologize and seek redemption. Don't give me that saintly crap. It's too late for me to apologize or change, and redemption is way out of my reach. I think I'll just stumble along as I always have. No, I'm not okay. This book is gonna destroy me. Oh my god. Oh my god. I'm like actually gonna cry. Oh my god. It says, Madeline squeezed her eyes shut. Of course Lena had done it before. If Lena were someone else's daughter, Madeline would have noticed the warning signs long ago. Dissatisfied teenager, angry and rebellious, looking for attention. Wow. Hello, it is the next day. I have some updates on Home Again by Kristen Hanna. Guys, I am halfway through the book right now. I am pleasantly surprised by this book. Honestly, I'm gonna be surprised if this book is anything under a 4-star. Hold on, let me shut my door. It's really loud. There's a few things I want to note about this book already. You're following like multiple different people. You're following the mom, you're following the teenage daughter, and you're also following this other guy. In the beginning, you start following him like he is the first, I think, like 2 or 3 chapters. He's like this very popular actor, and he like goes out and he parties, and he does not live his life like well. He's just not very like healthy or anything, and then he ends up having heart issues, so he lands in the hospital, and they basically tell him, hey, you're gonna need a heart transplant. Like, that's how bad you've been like living. You're watching him grapple with that fact, and I genuinely think it's so interesting because the whole premise of that is very deep and heavy, but at the same time there are so many things that I have underlined in this book. Like, look guys, you're telling me all of that I underlined? Like, I've truly just been going crazy underlining different things about this book. I kind of want to just read a little bit of it to you guys because I feel like I need to really preface, like, Kristen Hanna's writing is so beautifully done, and I need you guys to understand that things that you underline in books are very particular to you. So if anybody asks to borrow this book from me, it is not happening. I'm sorry. I'm saying this, but then I'm like sharing it online. So like, I won't let my closest friends know about the quotes I underline, but I'm gonna share it online to however many people want to watch this video. Anyways, this quote said, he had never wasted time thinking about the future. His life had always been a roller coaster ride, with him strapped willingly in the front seat. The days and nights hammered forward at blinding speed, turning, dipping, plunging, never slowing, never coming to a bump stop. Until now, until yesterday, when the coaster had rammed into the brick wall of his own mortality. Her writing, so perfect. Guys, oh guys. This quote is too real for me, but I think I have to share it anyway. Lena saw through Madeline's brittle exterior, saw the weak woman inside. A woman who couldn't make rules, couldn't enforce even the simplest conditions. A woman who was so desperate for love that she let people walk all over her. Oh my god, literally me. Wow. I really feel for every single one of the characters in this book already, even though some of the things that they do I think are really messed up. And I'm just so scared for the outcome of this book. I don't know. I just feel like this book is super heavy, and I was not expecting that. I was expecting this, like, reading the front of it, it does say a tender, beautifully told story of emotional growth, forgiveness, and the possibility of miracles. Like, yes, but I thought it would be way more like, I don't know, like upbeat and like, oh, this is like an impactful, like, I don't know how else to explain it other than that. I was not expecting to like truly almost be brought to tears. I want nothing else than to continue reading the book because it's really tugging on my heartstrings. But at the same time, I'm like, I need to make sure I'm in a good emotional place before I do this, before I continue the book. But anyways, those are all my thoughts about Home Again right now. I'm just like, wow, this book is already destroying me and I'm only halfway through. Let's continue reading Home Again. If you have read this book, you're gonna know what I'm talking about, but the chances of that are very slim to none. Like the chances of like other person who read this book being out there and watching this video. I can't explain what happened because it is a huge spoiler, but chapter 17. Oh my god. Oh my god. It's like, there are quotes about grief in this chapter. There are quotes about like literally being like numb to the rest of everything, and like, all I'm gonna say is the heart transplant happened. There's so many things that I underlined, like borderline the entire page I underlined. Oh my god, what's going on with me? It says, woodenly Lena moved into the circle of her mother's embrace, felt the warm, loving arms enfold her, and suddenly she was a child again, 6 years old, and she wanted to believe that her mother could make everything better. She waited for her mother to say something, to give Lena some magical, miraculous words that would turn back the clock. But her mother didn't speak, just held her, and Lena knew it would never be all right again. Okay, I'm so sorry. This is about to get really dark. Oh my god. The second I read that quote, it brought me back to finding out that my grandpa was gone. Oh my god. What the heck? It's been like, what, 7 years? Like, I should not be this much in pain still. Wow. And then he wonders how long it will go on, this slow vanishing, and what will become of him when it's over. And so he waits. What do you mean? Guys, it's been a long time since a book has made me feel this much pain and agony. Just reading this book makes me want to curl up into a ball and cry myself to sleep. Okay everyone, I officially finished Home Again by Kristen Hanna. I am here to give you guys my rating and my review and all of my thoughts and feelings because there is a lot. I want to start this off by saying this is not going to be the 5-star read, unfortunately. I just feel like even though this was a very, very, very good book, there were a few things that it was lacking, and there were a few points during the book where I was just kind of like, this is like an insane story that I can't even fathom it. The thing that really stood out to me about this book is the topic of grief. It was a very, very heavy topic of grief in this book. You guys literally saw my reactions when I was reading this book. I have so many things that I underline, just like underlining like a crazy person. Basically, the entire book is underlined by me. And I'm normally not the person to like go in with a pen or anything through my books, but this one was an exception because I was just reading through and I was like, wow. Now the thing is, Angel is Lena's dad, which is Madeline's daughter. Angel has these very bad heart issues. He has to get a heart transplant. So Madeline is a doctor for that, and he ends up being one of her patients. Kind of just transports her back to like the past when they were growing up, they were young and they were dumb, but they were in love, and it was just, oh my god, all of the quotes from this book really tug on your heartstrings so much. It was so weird because I was so convinced that I was supposed to hate Angel the entire time because he left his family. Like, that's my thought process. I need to stick like this with Madeline and Lena. I do not like Angel. But then the further and further we went on in the story, the further I understood him, and he is such a complex character. Him having his heart transplant and everything that came along with that, like, it just made me want to cry. There were some quotes in there where he just kept explaining that he didn't feel like himself because it was literally someone else's heart that he had, and also these different lifestyle changes that they told him he has to make, and just everything. He just felt like he wasn't himself for a very long time, and it really hurt my heart. Madeline really trying to understand her teenage daughter Lena and where Lena is coming from really hurt my heart too. But then on the other aspect, Madeline's trying to make everything better for Lena, but they are all going through this immense grief because there's also like a very big tragedy in this book that makes me want to throw up everywhere. I'm gonna end this section of the video off by saying I'm gonna give this book a 4.5 stars. There were a few things that I didn't like about the book. I felt like at times it kind of dragged. Everyone should go read this book. It was so impactful to me. It really is truly gonna hold such a special place in my heart, but it's not a 5-star. So let's go pick out our next book. Guys, there's a playlist for this book. That is so cute. I love when they do that. Okay everyone, so I'm a little bit through the fine print right now. I'm currently on chapter 6 and I just realized that I didn't even tell you guys what this book is about. I didn't even like introduce this book. I have all day, like basically all day free, and all that I want to do is just read this book. Like truly all that I want to do is just read the whole day. So we're gonna see how far we can get through this book. I'm hoping to finish this book today, which sounds absolutely insane, but I quite literally have nothing else that I'm doing, so I thought, why not? And also I had a different book that I was originally gonna read. I was originally gonna read Check and Mate by Ali Hazelwood, my second book of this video, but then this book on my bookshelf was just kept standing out to me. So this is The Fine Print by Lauren Asher. This is the first in the Dreamland Billionaire series. I don't really understand like what that's about. I think the entire series just follows like different brothers, but for this specific book we are following Rowan, who is one of the brothers. He actually owns an entire theme park company. Like he owns the theme park. Kind of in the beginning where we're at right now, like he's seen as this really like stuck up rude guy. Basically Zara, I already love her. Let me just put that out there. She basically gets drunk. She writes a like proposal that's criticizing one of the theme park's rides. She gets called in and she gets a job opportunity there. It is for sure gonna be enemies to lovers. I'm 1000% because they kind of hate each other right now. And I have not read an enemies to lovers book in a while, so this is kind of bringing me back to life. I normally hate enemies to lovers because especially in books that aren't fantasy books, I'm kind of like, why do you guys hate each other so much? This one kind of makes a little bit of sense. Zara sees Rowan as this really stuck-up rich guy, and fair. It's a very, very fair assessment. I'm hoping that the further we go along in the story, the more and more I'll like Rowan. Right now, I'm not his biggest fan. I don't know, it's really hard for me with enemies to lovers because this is a red flag. Okay, this is one of my red flags. Every single time I read an enemies to lovers, I'm in full support of the girl hating the guy. I am full 10 toes down for that. But then when the guy is mean back, are you for real? Like, you're a man. So I don't know, that's a really big red flag of me, but I'm hoping that doesn't really happen that much in this book. We have a lot more to go. I'm pretty sure that I'll end up liking Rowan the more and more we go along in the story, and I don't hate him by any means right now. I'm just not like the biggest fan of him. Anyways, I'm gonna continue reading because it's actually really, really interesting, and the writing is very fast paced. I don't know, I've never read Lauren Asher's writing before. I don't think I have. Already enjoying it a lot. Like, I get why you guys hype her up. I get it now. Also, guys, look how cute the chapters are. It's like a little roller coaster. I love when books have just little doodles that make it like so personalized to the book. Give me that every single time. Anyways, let's continue reading the fine print. lot of errands to run today, so I'll catch you on the flip side. It's officially update time on the fine print because guys, it is like halfway through the day and I am almost halfway through the book. This book has just grabbed my attention. I'm really enjoying this book. I like cannot put it down. I don't know if it really has anything to do with the book or just something to do with the fact that have been in a book slump for a very long time, okay? Also, I just have not read like a cute, fun romance in a while. And I've not read a book where like the romance is the main plot in a very long time. And I don't know, I feel like I'm getting brought back to my roots. I'm really enjoying this, if you guys couldn't tell. I also hated Rowan for a while there. Like some of the things that he was doing or saying to her, like acting towards her, I didn't like, but then having his POV really is a game changer. One, it's hard for me to like understand a male's point of view in general, so just having his POV is like so helpful to me. More and more the book goes on, he's like opening up more and like showing his care more, and I don't know, I really have a soft spot in my heart for him now. And our other character, Zara, I love her so much. I don't know how else to explain it. She just seems like a very upbeat like person. I feel like it's been a while since I've read about a character who I don't really relate to that much. She's very upbeat, very like open about everything. She like literally social anxiety fears her. She is such a strong female lead. You guys all know, okay? I read books to like find pieces of myself. It's a form of escapism, but also I love finding pieces of myself in characters and like relating to characters on these deeper levels that I feel like you don't get if you don't like read books or watch movies or things like that. That's why I love film and that's why I love books. Obviously, I love finding pieces of characters that I can relate to. Zara is like the complete opposite of me, but I genuinely love her so much. Very quickly, very briefly, by the way, this is no spoilers. Like this you find out very early on in the book. It's pretty much the entire like plot. Like it's literally the point of the book, so I promise I'm not spoiling anything. Basically, Zara works for Rowan. She like writes this review one day when she's drunk, very harsh review on one of the like roller coaster rides that he has. Calls her and is like, hey, like I have to start this new project, like you're gonna be one of the lead people on the project. I believe it was his grandfather that like owned the theme park business before then, and then like little parts of it are getting like handed over to each of the brothers because the grandpa passed away. Basically in the grandpa's will it says that Rowan has to like start this specific project and fall back in love with his passion, which is drawing. I don't know, I just found that also really interesting. There's a lot of like different side plots that are adding into the whole idea of everything. Also another big side plot, which I feel like we're just throwing plots. Basically one of the other plot points is that Zara's a really bad drawer, but she has to come up with these like ideas and stuff. Rowan, as you guys know, loves drawing. He doesn't tell Zara that he loves drawing, and when Zara needs help with someone to like draw the stuff, he pretends like he's sending it like to someone else in the company to like draw the stuff. And then Zara's like, oh, but I want to thank this person. Gives Rowan like a sticky note with her number on it for like the person so she can thank the other person. Meanwhile, that person does not exist. Rowan texts Zara's number, and then it's like also one of those tropes. I don't even know what the trope is called. It's like they're talking on text to each other all the time. Like Zara doesn't really know who he is. Zara thinks he's this guy named Scott. Like, I don't know. I'm really excited and nervous to see like how that's all gonna pan out. I know that Zara's gonna be like obviously upset because like what the heck, like you're lying just like for what? I'm gonna continue reading. I literally cannot put this book down. I was reading it the entire time in the car. Was dreading the fact that I had to get out of the car and go into the grocery store today because I wanted to continue reading this book. I'm gonna continue reading this book now. That's all I wanted to say. I'm so close to the end of this book. I'm literally on chapter 50. I think it's just this and the epilogue, honestly. This book is so cute. I just love our two main characters. Not ready to let go of Rowan. Like, why do I relate to the male main characters every single time. Just makes you sit and think about what kind of person I am. You know what I mean? All that I do the entire time I'm reading is like try to find fragments of a character that I can relate to. In Zara, there are like little fragments, but they are very little. And normally when that happens with me, I end up not liking the characters because it's like I literally don't understand you at all. Rowan, I really warmed up to him, guys. He is so me-coded too. Man of very, very few words until you get like close to the person. Also like pushes everyone away, like literally me. I have been reading this book all day and I'm so tired. I am so tired and all I want to do is sleep, but also all I want to do is finish this book. We'll see how I feel at the end of this book. I don't know what I'm going to rate it, so I kind of need the night to ponder on that. I'll get back to you guys tomorrow. Your father would like a word with you. Stop. Oh my god, people do change. People really can change. I love them. Rowan. He's so sweet. Oh my god. There's an extended epilogue. I live for times like this. Okay everyone, it is officially the next day. I think I have my rating for the fine print, so we're gonna go over it really quickly. I'm gonna review the book. Why do I act like I'm new to this YouTube thing? Oh my gosh. Anyways, I think I'm gonna give this book... Okay, like I literally just said I had my rating, but now I like fully lost it. Maybe a 4 stars? Did I give the last book a 4 stars too? This book was really good. I feel like if you want a romance book, this is definitely like a top contender. I just think that it didn't really have that much else to it. Pretty much just romance. Even like with these characters having like these backstories and different things that made them who they are, and then when they finally open up to each other about these things, like I thought it would be a little bit different than it ended up being. I enjoyed it. I just feel like we didn't dive deep enough into like everything that made the characters who they were. And also, this is a pretty spicy book and I'm not a big fan of that. Like I do not read for the spice in books. I just don't. I feel like there's more to a book. Like I'm not hating on anyone. If that's your cup of tea, go for it. But it's just not mine personally. I think this is a very good romance book though, and I'm excited because I have the next 2 in the series and I'm definitely gonna be reading those soon, but not in today's video. 4 stars to the fine print. Let's move on to our next book because I actually don't have our next book picked out yet, and I kind of think I want something a little bit more deep. I don't know if I want something like romance heavy anymore, so let's go ahead and pick our next book. Okay, so I think I want to pick something from like up here because I really just haven't read a book from here, and a lot of the books on my actual bookshelf, like all of these, I feel like I've read majority of the books on my bookshelf. I feel like I neglect my hardback books a lot because I just hate holding them. A lot of them at like different book sales are hardback books, so I've just accumulated a lot of hardback books. One of my best friends read Darling Girls like honestly like 2 months ago now, and we were supposed to buddy read it together. I got like a chapter or 2 in and then I stopped reading it because I fell into a book slump and I feel really bad, so I feel like maybe that's the book we're gonna pick for next. She ended up finishing the book in literally like a day and a half and texting me freaking out about it, and I was like, oh, so I am 1 in a book slump and 2 I literally on chapter 1 still. But I feel like I need to do my due diligence as a friend and actually read it. I think I just talked myself through that. I don't even think anything else is like an option at this point. I just talked myself through it and I'm like, I need to be a good friend and actually read this book. I DNF'd it, but it was a very soft DNF. It was no hatred towards this book at all. Darling Girls by Sally Hepworth is the book we're gonna read next for today's video. The only things I really know about this book, I think it follows 3 sisters. Let me make sure it's 3 and not 2. Yeah, it's 3. Jessica, Nora, and Alicia. And as young girls, they grew up in this specific foster home. Specific things happened at this foster home that these girls will not really talk about it much. And then it turns out like years later, they all get a call from a detective because a body was found at the foster home. So then not only do they have to like figure it out because it's like a mystery now, they also are getting interviewed by detectives. But on the other side, they also have to dig up things from their past. Let's start reading this book. Have a little bit of an update on Darling Girls for you guys because I just felt like it needs to be said that this book automatically starts off and I feel like you're immediately in the story. Why do I already have anxiety? I'm already sitting here, I'm like, oh, like I don't know what's gonna happen. Like I'm freaking out, heart racing already because the way that some of these things are worded is just like, It was a philosophy Jessica had always lived by, but a couple of weeks ago, Jessica had stumbled across an article which claimed that burying toxic feelings could cause cancer. Immediately, Jessica decided she must be riddled with cancer. After all, no one repressed more toxic emotions than she did. The idea of a physical manifestation of her suffering had a perverse sort of appeal. It said she found herself visualizing her insides, admiring the spoils. That's such a crazy way to word that, but it's also worded in the most perfect way. I will try to like not update you guys crazy to where it's annoying, but I will definitely be back soon with another update. Okay everyone, I have a few updates on Darling Girls because I am currently a little bit over halfway through it and I have a lot of thoughts and opinions and theories. And if there's one thing about me, it's gonna be I have something to say. I don't really want to get into my theories too much because I just feel like I fully don't comprehend. Like I have like 5 different theories who could have done it. Like not much is discovered yet. So the more and more that gets discovered, I feel like, oh, like my theory just keeps changing every 2 seconds. Literally every 2 seconds my theory is changing. I feel like I'm gonna be glued right here for the rest of the day. I feel like once I got like 3/4 into the book, then it started really picking up and now I can't put it down. I just want it to be resolved because I'm like, these 3 sisters have gone through so much. For them to like finally years later be like, we're finally like, we got past it, we're doing better now, and then for it all to just come back up again, I feel so bad for them and I have such a special place in my heart for all the sisters. I need to shut up and continue reading because I'm so entranced by this book and I need to know how it ends. I'll report back when I'm done with this book. Guys, I'm on the final chapter. It's Holly Fairchild's point of view. I really want to read this last chapter with you guys. I pretty much already know what happened, but just having Miss Fairchild's point of view being the last chapter, I feel like I need to read this with you guys. Why do I feel so bad for her? This is horrible. Why do I feel bad? Guys, I'm here to give my review of Darling Girls. It is literally like 5 minutes after I finished reading the book. Let's preface this, it's not gonna be a 5-star read from me, unfortunately. I don't think we dived deep enough into the actual trauma side of things. As you guys know, I am a lover of like deep literature. I love when books will like deep dive these things that happen to characters, seeing that perspective. I love when it gets very like lyrical type of writing. I just don't think that this had that. At the end, it really got me, but throughout the entire book, I was kind of just like, okay, like, can we get a little bit more, please? Very shocked at the way it ended. I kind of knew like who was the one who did something. I just didn't know like why they did it or how they did it or like who they did it to. But I pretty much knew the whole time like who's the one who should be behind bars for this. I think I'm gonna give this a 3 stars and we're gonna move on to the next book. Not really much to say about this book. You guys saw I was very shocked at the ending. As much as it was fast-paced, it was also a little bit difficult to like comprehend what was going on because it was so many different plot things happening. 3 stars is still a pretty high rating for me, so take what I'm saying with like a grain of salt, but 3 stars to this book. Let's move on to our next book of today's video.
I want you to know how I feel. Though I may say it, I just think that I might have to spell it out for you. So listen here.
This is doing something to my brain chemistry. My brain chemistry currently, as we're speaking, it's getting altered. There's little guys up in there and they're rewiring it already. Okay everyone, I already have some updates on the Midnight Library. I am currently on, I don't know, these chapters aren't numbered. This chapter is called The Only Way to Learn is to Live, and I'm 64 pages into the book. I feel like this is already the type of book that I really enjoy. It's very deep, talks about heavy topics, but in such a perfect way. I love the whole idea and the plot of the book. I hate to be that girl, but I genuinely am like, this is going to be a 5-star. I can already tell. I feel it in my bones and in my soul. We are following this girl named Nora who is in her 30s, and she actually attempts to take her own life, like in the beginning of the book. That is the whole setup of the book. Obviously tugged at my heartstrings. I feel like the way it was talked about in this book was just so beautifully done. I can already relate to Nora on levels that I can't even express. I've never read a Matt Haig book before, but I'm gonna start reading more because I'm already obsessed with it. I love his writing so much. The whole idea of this book is that after Nora attempts to take her own life, instead of her going into like the afterlife, she goes into this like middle place, which is called the Midnight Library. And each of the books in the Midnight Library that Nora's like going through is like a different outcome of her life if she would have made different decisions. The way it's written makes it not upbeat really, but just like a little bit lighter, which I kind of need because it's such a heavy topic. You kind of have to tread lightly with it. It reminds me a lot of Frederick Bachman's type of writing because his type of writing will dive so deep into these really harsh topics that like make you feel so heavy for these characters, but then he'll kind of like reel it back and make it a little bit lighter and a little bit funny almost. Matt Haig's writing already reminds me so much of that. This is actually a really heavy book, but I'm really enjoying it, and I love Nora and I feel for her so heavy. Oh my god, I'm like literally already gonna cry. This is horrible. Oh my gosh. Wow, I feel like this book is already checking all of my boxes of things that I like in books. I'm gonna continue reading the Midnight Library. I promise I will update soon. There's so much to say. Had written in Walden, in the direction of his dreams and endeavors to live the life which he has imagined, he will meet with a success unexpected in common hours. He'd also observed that part of this success was the product of being alone. I never found the companion that was so companionable as solitude. And it continues, and it says, she had thought in her nocturnal and suicidal hours that solitude was the problem, but that was because it hadn't been true solitude. The lonely mind in the busy city yearns for connection because it thinks human-to-human connection is the point of everything. But amid pure nature, the tonic of wildness, as Thoreau called it, solitude took on a different character. It became in itself a kind of connection, a connection between herself and the world, and between her and herself. It is easy to mourn the lives we aren't living, easy to wish we developed other talents, said yes to different offers. Easy to wish we worked harder, loved better, handled our finances more astutely, been more popular, stayed in the band, gone to Australia, said yes to the coffee, or done more bloody yoga. It takes no effort to miss the friends we didn't make, and the work we didn't do, and the people we didn't marry, and the children we didn't have. It is not difficult to see yourself through the lens of other people and to wish you were all the different kaleidoscope versions of you they wanted you to be. But it is not the lives we regret not living that are the real problem. It is the regret itself. It's the regret that makes us shrivel and wither and feel like our own and other people's worst enemy. Those lives are happening, it is true, but you are happening as well, and that is the happening we have to focus on. I'm like only reading bits and pieces from this, but please everyone go read this book because I need you to like understand everything that I've felt for the past couple hours of reading this book. This part says, we only need to be one person. We only need to feel one existence. We don't have to do everything in order to be everything because we are already infinite. While we are alive, we will always contain a future of multifarious possibility. So let's be kind to the people in our own existence. Let's occasionally look up from the spot in which we are because wherever we happen to be standing, the sky above goes on forever. Yesterday, I knew I had no future and that it was impossible for me to accept my life as it is now. Though today, that same messy life seems just as messy and I feel the weight of being, something has changed. I have found something within this darkness. Hope. Potential. The doctor always told me my problem was situational and not clinical, and yet my situation hasn't changed. Neither really has my problem. My depression-prone brain remains. What changed was a chance to feel how every other situation could have been. I could tell you about it, but you would never believe. All I can tell you is that there's only one thing that has changed, and yet that one thing was everything. I don't want to die anymore. I hit rock bottom and found something solid there. I have lived a lot in what feels to you like a single night. I have traveled 10,000 miles from the inconceivable to the feasible, from death to life. Will my life be miraculously free from pain, despair, grief, heartbreak, hardship, loneliness, depression? No. But do I want to live? Yes, yes, 1,000 times yes. The Midnight Library is one of those books that I feel like is going to stick with me until the end of time. This book just like changed my perspective on so much. I've never related to a character as much as I've related to Nora, which is crazy, but like everything that she has felt, wow. That is pretty much all I have to say about the Midnight Library. I feel like I told you everything. 5 stars to the Midnight Library. You guys should so go read this book. Thank you guys for watching this video. I love you guys so much. I'll see you guys super soon. As you guys know, I'm trying to post every single Wednesday and every single Sunday, so we're getting back on our grind, okay? Anyways, I love you guys so much. Thank you for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Check out all my socials, links in the description box down below, and I'll see you guys super soon with a new video. Love you guys. Goodbye.